Hello everybody, this is Dr. Cole, Sunday evening, March 28th, heading now into week 12 of Political Science 3143 Comparative Governments for the spring 2021 term. Everyone, before we go any further, I want everyone to know I am aware we have had a tragedy on campus this past week. I believe I've got at least one individual on the rodeo team in our class. So I didn't want to let this time pass without saying anything about it. When I was a full-time faculty member, I knew several of the rodeo people, including the student athletes and Sue and Robert. Rodeo, of course, is something of which we're very proud to OPSU with all the championships we've won. It's hard to know what to say. Living in the high plains can be risky. We have to travel long distances to take care of much of our business. That goes especially for people involved in rodeo, ranching, and ag in general. So, please everybody know I am aware of what happened, and it's hard to know what to say. All we can say is, perhaps, the best thing to say is everyone please be careful out there. And I don't know what more I can say beyond that. As far as our business goes, everybody, we're looking at a quiz Tuesday. Quiz number 6. We'll chat online for anyone who would like to chat. I'll be available 7 o'clock Central Time tomorrow night. And then the quiz will be available all day Tuesday the 30th. We'll chat, if you would like to, tomorrow night, Monday the 29th at 7 Central Time for 45 minutes. And then the quiz will be available all day Tuesday the 30th. Everyone, there was an issue. At least one student communicated with me about some of the readings for the quiz. I got a message out Friday in which 2 of the 4 articles were cut and pasted into that email. That was the Wall Street Journal and The Economist material. Everyone, these publications supposedly allow me to forward you articles from their smartphone app, but the links don't always work. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Those 2 publications place a limit on what I can forward to you. So, if that should ever happen again, remember, please try to access the readings as soon as you get the link. And if you cannot access them, contact me, and I will make other arrangements to get the text of the material to you. You should never have to pay for any of this, although it's true that some of these publications are behind a paywall. Some of those that do use a paywall nevertheless make a limited amount of their material available, and so I try to forward that. If that does not work out, don't worry about trying to pay for anything. I will make arrangements to get the material to you. Alright, so you should have that message, which includes the text of 2 of the articles. Then there were 2 additional articles, and I don't believe there's been any problem with the links I sent you to those articles. One was from the New York Times, the other an English language article from a German website, dw.com. So, I hope everyone has been able to access those in time for the quiz the day after tomorrow, Tuesday. If not, please contact me. I'll be checking my mail tomorrow morning, Monday, and Tuesday morning. I believe everyone should have access now to all the material for the quiz. Everyone, Nigeria is on the syllabus for this week, all week, even after we take the quiz on Tuesday. After we take the quiz, everybody, I will get material out for quiz number 7, which will cover Russia and China, but we will not take that until the week of the 12th. We'll have about 2 weeks between quiz 6 and quiz 7. Now, say a few words about Nigeria. Nigeria will be the least developed, poorest country of any that we've studied this term. It is an important country in that its population is expected to explode from 200 million to 400 million over the next couple of decades by the year 2050. If that happens, it will be the 3rd most populous country in the world, ahead of the United States and behind only India and China. So, much economic activity in Africa is is driven by Nigeria because it carries such tremendous weight by the sheer fact of its big population, which is expected to increase even further in the decades to come. So an important country. Most textbooks include either Nigeria or South Africa as an example of an African country. South Africa, of course, has a very unusual and distinct history, and of course, a separate and distinct ethnic composition due to its history. So most textbooks will treat of either South Africa or Nigeria as their examples of an African country. A few words to say about Nigeria. Nigeria is a good example of a country that has oscillated between liberal democratic rule and military rule. It's an example of a country that has attempted to establish democratic institutions, but with limited success, which, just as an aside, people find it so alarming in our country, the events that have happened going back to January of this year, going back to January 6th. And in the wake of that, evidence that so many people in the United States did not accept the legitimacy of the election and insist that it was stolen and that President Biden was not legitimately elected. This is the kind of thing we see going on in countries that very often suffer from political instability and have a great deal of difficulty getting democratic institutions accepted, including but not limited to elections as a way of making decisions and deciding who the political leaders of a country will be. In particular in Nigeria, as you read through your lecture notes, you'll read about the rule in the 1990s of the dictator Sani Abacha, whose rule was so ruthless he practically turned Nigeria into an international pariah while he was in power. They've attempted to reestablish elections and democratic institutions since then, with limited success. Again, to get democratic institutions accepted is no easy thing in a place where they're not well established to start with, which is why some people find some of the things that have happened in our country recently to be so alarming. People will tell you, of course, that Nigeria is the kind of place that suffers from the legacy of colonialism. For instance, you'll notice, we note in your lecture notes that the country is divided. If you draw a horizontal line through the middle of the country, it's roughly divided between Christians in the south and Muslims in the north. And furthermore, at least three major ethnic groups, of which there are many, many more smaller groups, but the predominant ones are the Hausa, the Yoruba, and the Igbo. Now, the thing about it is, it probably would have been better to establish a nation state for each of those three ethnic groups, but that's not the way the colonial powers drew the boundaries. So you have a situation in which people may think of themselves as either Muslim or Christian, or either Hausa, Yoruba, or Igbo, before they think of themselves as Nigerian, because the boundaries of the nation-state of Nigeria were drawn in such an arbitrary fashion, a reflection of which territory particular colonial powers happen to have had possession of. And this is true throughout Africa. It's a problem that besets many African nation-states. Now, everyone, Nigeria suffers from lack of economic development on measures like per capita income, literacy, infant mortality, things like that, measures of human development. Nigeria comes fairly low on the totem pole as you compare the 200 or so nation states, United Nations members we find around the world. Not as badly off as some of its immediate neighbors, but again, economic development is an issue for the place. We should be aware, for a country trying to develop, a major issue that stands as an obstacle very often is corruption. Corruption, is a disincentive to foreign direct investment that a country like Nigeria may need. It's an additional cost of doing business, and it becomes very difficult to estimate what that cost will be. Now, we should be aware, before we look down at a country like Nigeria, be aware there are people in Nigeria and other similarly situated countries in Africa and elsewhere who understand what the problem is and are trying to do something about it. But the problem is, it involves stepping on people's toes. It involves interfering with vested interests and disrupting the way we've always done things, shall we say. It's the kind of thing that can be rolled back only with a great deal of difficulty, and very often it seems like a matter of 2 steps forward, 1 step back over and over again for a country that is in this situation. All right, so a few things to keep in mind as you look at Nigeria over the course of this week. Now, for the quiz Tuesday, we have 2 pieces to read about Mexico, going back to last week, and 2 about Nigeria. That will be the material for the quiz Tuesday. Nigeria is on the syllabus for the rest of the week. Okay, so continue to look at your class notes on Nigeria after the quiz. And then after that, we'll be looking at material for quiz 7 the following couple of weeks on Russia and China. So, a quiz on Tuesday covering some material to look at about Mexico and Nigeria, all day Tuesday, Tuesday the 30th, and we'll chat about it for those who would like to show up in the chat room tomorrow night, Monday the 29th, for 45 minutes beginning at 7 o'clock Central Time. So everyone, be looking at that material. If you should be having any trouble accessing it, please contact me. I hope we've straightened that trouble out with the quiz material. And once again, please be aware I'm thinking of everyone in light of the tragedy on campus last week. So we'll perhaps see some of you in the chat room tomorrow night, and the quiz will be available for you all day Tuesday. Good night.